Today, let's make a whole food, plant-based German chocolate cake. That is so chocolatey.
So let's jump in. So what we're going to do first, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then we're going to grind our flour. So I've got 3 cups of organic rolled oats here, and we're just going to grind them real quick to make a flour, because that is a really affordable way to make oat flour. You really don't need to buy it. And we always have oats on hand, so I can always make cake. So I'm just going to blend it into a pretty fine but not super fine flour. All right, there we go. And to make the flour, you really don't need any kind of complicated blender. A regular blender's fine, even your NutriBullet's fine. So we're just going to set that aside because we're going to use that for our wet ingredients in just a minute. And if you want all of the ingredient lists, there'll be a printable recipe in the links below. So what we have here is a cup of cocoa powder, a tablespoon of flax meal, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a tablespoon of baking powder. We're just going to whisk these together first, get any of those clumps out of there so we don't end up with any of those little white spots in your cake. You want a nice, really dark chocolate cake. I really love pulling out these old classic cakes and making a plant-based version of them, because we love our desserts here at this house. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, now for the wet ingredients. I'm just going to set this aside here. So I've got a 1.5 cups of pitted dates, a 1/2 cup of unsweetened soy milk, but you can use almond milk or coconut milk, whatever type of plant milk you like. I usually just stress that it's unsweetened because we're going to get our sweetness from those dates. I got 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. And then I have 2 cups of almost boiling hot water. Don't boil your water, but get it right up to the boiling point. And what this is going to do, especially for chocolate cakes, it intensifies that chocolate flavor. So we really want it to taste chocolatey, so we're going to use hot water. Now I'm just going to blend this until those dates are completely pulverized. Okay, now I'm going to move this stuff out of here and I'm going to get my pans and then we'll mix this all together. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. Plus, Complement is completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Beans are an essential part of a whole food plant-based diet and should feature prominently in our daily menu. We love finding new and convenient ways to get our servings in. Wellbean is a tasty and wholesome way to get half a serving of beans in every bar. Wellbean bars are vegan and gluten-free, with no preservatives and no added salt, sugar, or oil. Each bar is made only from an assortment of beans, fruits, nuts, and seeds. As a special deal for our viewers, follow the link in the description and use the code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save $5 off a variety pack, because life is better with beans. Okay, so now I've got our pans. I've got 2 9-inch silicone pans, but you can use regular cake pans if that's what you've got. Just line them with parchment paper. Now we're just going to mix this together. And I wanted to make sure I had everything ready to go here when we mix, because you kind of want to do this all in just one step, because as it mixes here, it starts to thicken. And you kind of want to get it in the pan so it can kind of self-level without being too thick. Trying to get all of those spots so I don't have any dry stuff left in there. Sure, get it all. All right, there we go. All right, now we just have to divide it between these two guys. You just kind of guesstimate what looks like about half. That chocolate smells so good. You can really tell just by putting that hot water in there that it does really bring out the chocolatey flavor, because you can really smell it. All right. I'm just going to smooth those out a little bit. Okay, so now we're ready to go into the oven, and they're going to go in for 25 minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. Our supporting members gain access to great member perks like our monthly product giveaways, ebooks, and in-depth courses, including our 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, where we offer a step-by-step guide to making the switch to a fully plant-based diet. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. Okay, let's get back to the show. Okay, so our cakes are out, and they didn't take quite 25 minutes, so you can probably pull them out just a couple minutes early, and they're already cooled, so now we're gonna make that delicious frosting. So first we're gonna mix up our wet ingredients here. Got a 1.5 cups of pitted dates. Got 1/3 cup of organic rolled oats, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a 1.5 cups of unsweetened plant milk. We're just going to blend this first before we stir in our dry ingredients. Okay. There we go. Just pour that in our bowl. And then I've got a 1.5 cups of just shredded coconut, unsweetened coconut. And then 1 cup of finely diced or finely chopped pecans that I just lightly toasted. But if you're going nut-free, or if you're on a nut-free diet, this is completely optional. I just love it for the flavor and that little bit of crunch. Now we just stir that together. Oh yeah, look at that. And when you toast those pecans, you can really smell it. Oh, it's such a nice warm smell. Okay, and we're gonna frost this up right now, but if you want, you can tell that it's a little bit, it's not super, super thick.
So if you want it to be a bit thicker, it does thicken up as it sits because the oats start soaking up that liquid, but you could put this in the refrigerator for, you know, an hour or so and it would get really nice and firm. But we're just gonna go for it here. So I already have one laid out here on my plate. I'm just gonna do about half, like that. Maybe a little bit more. Spread it around. And we're not gonna frost the whole thing. It's just gonna be in between the layers and then on the top, because that's what a classic German chocolate cake looks like. Oops. And you don't have to be exact. It's kind of a rustic looking cake, so there we go. All right, put just a little bit more on there. Just get a little bit thicker layer in between the cakes. Okay, then we're going to take our second cake here and place it on top, just like that. Oh, nice. Now for the rest of that frosting. Okay, there we go. There is your German chocolate cake. So now all that's left is a taste. So I'm gonna get a plate and a fork and I'll meet you at the table for a taste. All right, time for the taste. This is definitely my favorite part. Oh my goodness. Ooh, look at that. That is beautiful. All right, let's get a taste. That is so chocolatey. When you get the sweetness from that frosting with the pecan, a little crunch of the pecans and that coconut. I can't wait for you guys to try this one. So go ahead and give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week for another great recipe.